Hi students, we are going to discuss the last part of P block elements today, halogens, that is group 17 and group 18 elements. Okay, let us start. So which are the elements present in group 17? Actually, the elements present are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. And you have one more element called NSI that is also there, which is radioactive. Okay, and what are the this occurrence we have to see? Fluorine and chlorine are fairly abundant. If you are comparing all the halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and all, fluorine, chlorine are fairly abundant, and they are gases also. Okay, while bromine and iodine less. Actually, bromine is a only non-metal liquid, which is brown in color, and iodine is having a purple color. Okay, and it is a solid. Iodine is having a gray color, actually solid state. When it is converting into a gas color, it is having a purple color. Fluorine is present mainly as insoluble fluorides, calcium fluoride, sodium aluminum fluoride, calcium phosphate. Okay, so everywhere and calcium fluoride. So fluoroapatite it is called Ca3PO4 twice CaF2. Okay, so all this fluorine is present mainly as insoluble fluoride. Small quantities are present in soil, also in river, and wands and teeth of animals also it is present. Seawater contains chloride, bromide, and iodide of sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. It is mainly sodium chloride solution. So actually, this all just understand. Okay, you can see where what is the name: fluorspar, CaF2, cryolite, Na3Al, F6, and fluorohapatite. What is the formula for this? This is important. Okay. And now let us see the electronic configuration. Look at the electronic configuration. The outermost shell consists of how many electrons? 7. Okay, so everywhere you can see 7 electrons is present in the outer shell. It needs only 1 electron to complete the octet. Okay. Yes. Now, next is oxidation state. Look at this. They have NSNP is the outermost electronic configuration, NS2NP 5. So if you are right, this is the ground state electronic configuration. So in the first excited state, one of the electron will excite to the d orbital. And if it excite again, another paired electron will be unpaired and will be exciting into the d orbital. And third excited state, even from S, one of the electron will excite to the d. So based on this, we can assume what are the oxidation state possible. Okay. So here only one unpaired electron. So +1 or -1, one unpaired electron is there. That oxidation states are possible. One unpaired electron. Okay. Always you have to understand one thing. Among halogen, fluorine is highly electronegative. It has only one oxidation state, that is -1. Okay. However, chlorine, bromine, and iodine exhibit +1, +3, +5, and +7 oxidation states. So that is what we are explaining here, how it is possible. So if in the F atom, you can see that it is coming in the second group, so that d orbitals are not available. So it is only having -1 oxidation state. So +1 and -1 is possible because there is one unpaired electron here. And if it is this one electron is excited to the d orbital, what will happen? 3 unpaired electron. So +3 oxidation state is also possible. So when it is unpaired, it becomes 5. So +5 oxidation state is also possible. If it is unpaired, then it becomes 7. So +7 oxidation state is also possible. Okay. Now reactivity. Actually, fluorine is highly reactive and it is a strong oxidizing agent because what fluorine will always convert into F-. So F- means receiving electron, right? So it is acting, it will undergo reduction and it is acting as an oxidizing agent. Okay, so fluorine when react with the X-, any other halogen, it can displace any other halogen from a compound because it is highly reactive. Okay, and F- and X2 will be forming. Okay, for example, So any halogen which is highly reactive, that will displace the least reactive. That is example, Br2 plus 2I minus iodine is actually, iodide is highly less reactive, so that bromine will replace the place of I minus and it become 2Br minus and I2. Okay. That's all about the reactivity. Now reaction with metal and non-metal, they will react with the metal and non-metal. When they react with the metal, it will form a salt. Okay. And ionic character of the halide decreases in the order. So actually they are forming ionic compounds when it is reacting with the metal is reacting with the bromine or the halogen, they will be forming the ionic compounds. Okay, so but ionic character of the halide decreases when we are moving down. Ionic character is decreasing and covalent character is increasing. Okay. Okay, now reaction with the hydrogen, they react with the hydrogen. We know that it is an exothermic reaction. It will produce hydrogen chloride gas. Okay. Hydrogen halide dissolved in it. So whenever hydrogen halide is formed, when it dissolved in water, it will be converting into hydrohalic acid, hydrochloric acid, for example. Okay. And then reactivity with the hydrogen, reactivity towards oxygen. Also, it will react with oxygen and form different oxide like OF2, 2F2. So only OF2 is thermally stable. These oxides are essentially oxygen fluoride because of the higher electronegativity. Why they are combining with oxygen? Oxygen is also the second highest electronegativity is for oxygen. But fluorine is having the most electronegativity. That is why fluorine is combining with the oxygen. So in this particular example, oxygen must have what? Positive oxidation state. Okay. Now oxides, chlorine, bromine, and iodine form oxides in which the oxidation state will be changing from +1 to +7. Okay, so generally decreasing order of stability of oxide formed by halogen is ICl-Br. Okay, decreasing order of stability. So Br is having the least stability. The higher oxides of halogen tend to be more stable. Understand? So chlorine oxide, okay, they are highly reactive oxidizing agent and tend to explode sometimes. ClO2 is usually using for bleaching purposes. The bromide oxides are least stable halogen oxides and exist only at low temperature. They are very powerful oxidizing agent. And iodine oxides example are there, I2O4, I2O5, etc. They are insoluble solid and decompose on heating. Reactivity of halogen towards other halogen. They will react with other halogen and it will form interhalogen compounds. Okay. Fluorine, we know that in the last chapter we have that is the Steens group, we learned that oxygen is having some anomalous property. The first member of that group. Same like that. Here also the first member is fluorine. It is having some anomalous property because of some reason. We know that it is having the highest electronegativity. It is having the smallest size. It is having high ionization energy, high electronegativity, electrode potential, and all of these are high for it. Okay. Also, ionic and covalent radius, enthalpy of bond dissociation and electron gain enthalpy are quite lower than expected. So, the anomalous behavior of fluorine is due to its small size. Same we learned for oxygen. Highest electronegativity, same we learned. Okay. Low fluorine bond dissociation enthalpy is very low. And non-availability of d orbital invalence shell. The same reason we have learned in a oxygen also. Okay, it forms only one oxoacid while other halogen form a number of oxoacids. Hydrogen fluoride is a liquid due to strong hydrogen bonding. Okay, so hydrogen fluoride, we know that it exists hydrogen bonding. What is the preparation method? Okay, so it can be prepared by any one of the following methods. By heating. Okay, example. Okay. Fluorine. Now, let us see about the chlorine. I just changes the slides. That is why chlorine was discovered by Scheele by the action of HCl and MnO2. Okay. Davy established elemental nature and suggested the name chlorine on account of its color. It is having a greenish yellow color. Okay. So what is the method of preparation? It can be prepared by manganese oxide. When reacted to HCl, we will be getting manganese chloride plus chlorine plus water. Another potassium permanganate, when react with HCl also, we will get chlorine. This is the method of preparation. Manufacture of chlorine, we can use Descartes process by oxidation of hydrogen chloride gas by atmospheric oxygen in the presence of copper chloride is one process, and another electrolytic process. Chlorine is obtained by the electrolysis of brine. Okay. Now, what are the properties? It is actually greenish yellow gas. It is having a pungent smell, suffocating smell, and it is heavier than air. It can liquefy easily into greenish yellow liquid. Okay, chlorine react with a number of metal and non-metals, aluminium chloride, sodium chloride, iron chloride, phosphorus, that is non-metal phosphorus chloride, with the sulfur, thionyl chloride, S2Cl2. With the H2, it will react and form hydrogen chloride. Okay, when H2 is some of the reaction, when H2 is react with the chlorine, we will get HCl and sulfur. When C and H16 react with the Cl2, we will get HCl and 10C. These are the reactions of chlorine. With the excess ammonia, chlorine give nitrogen and ammonia chloride. Whereas with the excess chlorine, nitrogen trioxide is trichloride is formed. So ammonia when react with chlorine, ammonium chloride and nitrogen. Ammonia when react with chlorine, excess of ammonia, if you are using excess of HCl, we will be getting an NCl3, okay, which is explosive. The cold and dilute alkalis, chlorine produce a mixture of chlorine and hypochlorite. But with hot and concentrated alkalis, it gives chloride and chlorate. So that is already given. Sodium chloride, if it is cold and dilute, it will be giving us sodium chloride, sodium hypochlorite, and water. Okay, if you use hot instead of cold, then instead of sodium hypochlorite, NaOCl, we will get NaClO3. That is the only difference. With a dry slated lime, it gives bleaching powder. That's also important. Calcium hydroxide plus chlorine, CaOCl2, bleach, and CaCl2 plus H2O. So it oxidizes ferrous or ferric or sulfite to sulfide, ferrous to ferric, and sulfite to sulfate. FeSO4 when react with H2SO4 and Cl2, we will get Fe2SO4 thrice. Sulfite, okay. And here also Na2SO3 will be converting into Na2SO4 sulfate. And when sulfur dioxide reacts with water and chlorine, it will be converting into sulfuric acid. Sulfur dioxide is converting into sulfuric acid. When it reacts with water and iodine, we will get an acid HiO3. Chlorine react with the hydrocarbon, and the substitution reaction, we know that one hydrogen will go, in place of that one chlorine will come. Okay, so it will undergo substitution reaction in the presence of ultraviolet light. Okay. What are the uses? It is used for making bleaching, wood pulp, okay, required for the manufacture of paper and rayon, bleaching cotton and textiles, in the extraction of gold and platinum, in the manufacture of dyes, drugs, and organic compounds such as CCl4, CaCl3, DDT, okay, in sterilizing drinking water, preparation of poisonous gases such as COCl2, tear gases, CCl3, NO2, all these we are preparing using this chlorine, okay. Now HCl, how we will prepare HCl? Sodium chloride when react with sulfuric acid, we will get sodium bisulfate and HCl. Sodium bisulfate when react again with sodium chloride, we will get sodium sulfate and HCl. Okay. It is a colorless and pungent smelling gas, and it is easily liquefied. And it is extremely soluble in water because of its ionic bonding. Sorry, because of its hydrogen bonding. It reacts with ammonia and give white fumes of ammonium chloride. And when 3 parts of concentrated HCl and 1 part of HNO3 are mixed, aqua regia we will get. Okay. And hydrochloric acid decomposes salt of weaker acid, sodium carbonate and HCl. We will get sodium chloride, water, and carbon dioxide. Uses. It is used in the manufacture of chlorine, ammonium chloride, and glucose, for extracting glue from bones and purifying bone black. In medicine and as laboratory reagent, we will be using this, okay, from interhalogen compound. We can see in another video, okay.